Namaste. Welcome to this short practice. It's really designed to be done in bed, but I could never take you guys up to my bedroom because it's far too untidy. So I will demonstrate this on the floor, but this is designed for you to do in bed. And this is particularly this practice aimed at chair yogis because we find it quite hard to access the work that we do at the back of the body without adopting a lying down position. So I've figured a way for us to do all of these things in bed, but it doesn't have to be first thing in the morning or last thing at night. Perhaps you can get yourself into your yoga gear and go back to your bed to do this practice. Okay, so we might need 2 pillows. That's entirely up to you, and you'll see if you need them as we practice, but have them handy just in case. And the first thing that we're going to do is come to lying down as we would in bed. So on your bed, just bending your knees into your chest just a little, and perhaps rocking a little from side to side with the knees. So what we're trying to do today is stimulate the back of the body, the muscles that support the lower back. You can take your feet down to your mattress. And to do that, we don't want to do too much of the lengthening of the muscles at the buttocks, the hamstrings, or the low back. We're doing more activation, but at the same time, we want them to move well. So we want that little bit of fluidity. So start with your feet nice and wide apart, so much wider than your body. And if you can, allow your arms to rest away from you as well. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can rest them onto your belly. And you can have them as far stretched apart as your bed width will allow. Don't leave them hanging in midair though. And then here, we're just beginning to gently sway the knees from side to side. So it's really just a really small movement, swaying the knees from side to side. And as you do this, perhaps feel your abdominal muscles engage just a touch to stabilize the movement, stop the knees flopping around too much. And you can begin to let the movement become a little bigger if it feels okay for your hips and knees. So that's always the key indicator. If something feels good, if it doesn't feel bad, and that's a great thing. But if you get any discomfort, just making the movement smaller, or perhaps you'll decide that this particular movement isn't for you today. So just doing a little bit side to side, beginning to waken up the structures that support our movement, that help us to move freely and as painlessly as possible. Now we're going to come back to the center and extend both legs, again, quite far apart. And here we're going to keep the knees bent and rotate the ankles. So the heels are on your mattress and the knees are off the mattress, but rolling inwards and outwards. So you can have parts of the back of the leg on the floor, on the mattress at any time. We're just making circles, the knees roll around, the thigh bones, the femurs, roll in their joint as well. And we're going to go the opposite way. Again, doing what doesn't add to any discomfort that you have at the moment. So if it feels comforting, if it feels relatively easy, perhaps it will even feel good. If it feels something necessary or useful, and doing that. Very good. And then bringing the feet a little bit closer together, just bending one at a time in towards the buttocks. And we're going to begin a little pelvic tilting. So pressing your low back down into the mattress, squeezing the buttocks, pressing into the heels a little, and then rolling the opposite way. So lengthening your tailbone down, lifting your navel perhaps a little bit in front of you, using a touch of tummy muscle action here, just a little. Pressing the low back down to squeeze the buttocks. Perhaps they lift just a touch, and then rolling the opposite way. So you get this tipping effect backwards and forwards through the pelvis. And it's guided by the heels of the feet pressing down as you rock the pelvis back towards you, squeezing the buttocks just a touch. And perhaps you feel like you're pressing the toes more down as you roll the opposite way. Very good. Just a little bit backwards and forwards. Brilliant stuff. And then we're going to release back into the center, lengthen the legs, and again with the knees a little bit bent, making ankle circles so that the legs roll in the hip joints. And in the opposite direction. That's our releasing move today. Very good. Then we're going to bend the knees, take them really wide again. Take the arms out so you let the chest relax a little as well, and begin swaying the knees from side to side again. So this time you might want to go a little bit further or build into a little bit more of a twisting movement if that feels like a good thing for you to do. A touch of action across the belly muscles here, just enough to stabilize so that you could stop at any point during the movement if you needed to, that it's not just your momentum throwing the knees from side to side. So it's steady, careful movements with awareness. Very good. And if you want to, you can keep going with that. And if you'd like to, you can let your knees come down on one side, and with the top leg, we're pressing the inside of the top leg towards the mattress, just the top leg. So if your knees are coming down on the left side, it's your right leg that's pressing down. And at the same time, if you want to, you can raise that arm. So if it's the right leg pressing down, the right arm raises over the head or to out to the side to get a little bit more stretch or a little bit more space. And then gently coming back to the center, maybe making a couple of light, small waving movements side to side, and then going to the opposite side, letting the knees come down, this time on the right side. So the inside of the left leg is pressing towards the mattress, the inside of the foot, the inside of the thigh. And if you want to, you can raise your left arm up. It doesn't need to be straight, it can be bent. So you just find a little bit of space underneath that arm, down the side of the body, across the hip flexor as well. These get a little tight when we sit a lot. And then when you're ready, gently coming back to the center. And if you don't like that holding, if the holding doesn't work, just throughout that practice, just keep the knees moving gently from side to side. Aces. So we're going to lengthen the legs, keep the knees nice and soft, roll the feet on the heels, roll the ankles on the heels so that the knees roll in and out. Lovely job. And in the opposite direction as well. This is a releasing movement. There's no need to hold or grip or firm anything in particular. Bringing your feet back towards your bottom, but not very close, just a little bit back towards the bottom. We're going to rest the arms now, the upper arms down to the sides, elbows coming towards the body, but palms of the hands facing each other across the body. And we're going to roll the back of the body down towards the mattress, firm the elbows downwards, press into the heels and gently squeeze the buttocks a touch to lift your hips up and down. So allow your breath to come with this. So breathing in as you lift the hips up, breathing out and down. Pressing the upper arms down, lifting the chest, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, pressing down into the heels, breathing in as you lift the hips up, breathing out and down. If you've got that action, you can continue to breathe in, coming up, and breathing out and down. focusing on pressing into the heels, activating the buttocks, activating that space between the shoulder blades, pressing the arms down as well. And throughout the movement, you can keep the upper body active in that way. Very good. If it's coming a little bit more slowly, then break it down into parts. So pressing down with the elbows, lifting the chest, pressing down with the heels, squeezing the bottom just a little bit, the buttocks lifting up and releasing down. And you can do fewer, but really carefully. Pressing the upper arms down, lifting the chest, pressing into the heels, squeezing the buttocks, lifting up and down. We're going to take a little rest now, stretching the legs out, releasing the arms away from the body. And with the heels on the mattress, bending the knees and just making ankle circles to release the legs in both directions. I didn't say at the beginning, but it would be best if you got rid of the duvet or blankets that you have on your bed. Excellent stuff. So you can bring the feet back. This time the feet not so wide for our twisting motion. And we're going to wave the feet side to side. They're at least the width of your body, but not wider. So something just over hip width apart. And here with a little bit of tummy action, tummy muscles to support the movement of the knees. It feels a little bit different the closer the feet get together. So just feel your way into this. Feel if it is right for you. And it might be that the wider apart feet version didn't suit your knees or hips, but this closer together one might. And then with the feet in that position still, but with the knees pointing up. This time, if you want to, you can hold your bridge pose, which is what we are doing with the elbows down by the sides, pressing the elbows down, lifting the chest, pressing into the heels, activating the buttocks to peel the back of the body up just a little. It doesn't matter where you get to, it's not about a particular shape. And this feels good, you can simply hold. If it pulls on your knees, try turning your toes out just a little bit. And that can sometimes indicate tight quadricep muscles, those ones on the fronts of the thighs. And you can hold or you can go up and down as you choose, or you can make hula hoop actions. So this encourages the different sides of the body to work differently. So sort of hula hooping your hips around. I'm sure we all remember hula hooping. Millennials maybe don't, but we probably all do. And hula hooping in the opposite direction as well. And if you need to take a break at any time, that's fine. And we can come back to the center and gently lower down, and then lengthen the legs away one at a time. And making those circles. So heels on the mattress. Sorry, I've got a squeaky mat. There we are. Making ankle circles in both directions. Hopefully your mattress isn't as squeaky as my mat. Very good. And then bringing your feet back towards the buttocks again. We're going to take our pillows, our two pillows that we've got handy, and place them either side of the hips. So they can be touching the body. We're going to bring the feet together and let the knees come out to the sides so that you support the back of your thighs, or sorry, the outsides of your thighs on your pillows. And it might be that if your knees are a little bit higher up, you want to fold your pillow over to provide a double width support. So we don't want the knees to hang, the legs to hang in thin air. We want them to feel supported so that we can relax the inner thighs, the adductors. I had to think about that for a moment. And if this feels comfortable, this is called Baddha Konasana. And it's nice because the back finds a gentle, natural curve, and we can release the arms wide. And here, if you want to, you can make some movements with your arms, sort of angel wing movements, reaching up and down. which helps to organize things in the back of the body, helps to activate the space underneath the shoulder blades, but there's no weight in the arms here. So it's a little bit more gentle on the shoulders. Imagine snow angeling, and that's exactly the sort of action that we're after. And then when you're ready, you can just rest in any position. If this is feeling super comfortable, you can try lifting the hips here as well. So here you would press the outside edges of the feet down, firm the belly muscles, and you can bring the elbows back to the sides, press the chest down, and just gently lift the hips and lower. Lifting and lowering. And that might not work, might not suit you at all. This is just a different variation. But if it does, this is quite a nice one to do. Really helps to firm the buttocks. Help them to activate, help them to support and stabilize. When you've finished, just relaxing for a moment, and we're gently going to help our knees up. So help the right leg come up with the right hand and the left leg with the left hand. And then you can stretch your legs away from you. We are dispensing with the pillows for now. I think we won't be using them again, but there may be something. So soft in the knees, rolling in the ankles. Fantastic stuff. In both directions. Very good. So what we want to do is avoid stretching out too much the muscles we've been activating, because we want them to begin to build that sense of stability and strength. But what we are going to do is roll onto our tummies just now. So I suggest you shift yourself to one side, and if you're rolling to your right, extend your right arm and right leg, and then press off with the opposite foot to find your way onto your belly. Smashing. And so here we want to make a pillow out of the hands, rest the forehead down onto the hands, and rest the tops of the feet down to the mattress as well. And if that feels really uncomfortable on the tops of the feet, you can tuck the toes under, or you can use a pillow underneath the feet, which helps to take the stress off the ankle, particularly if you're not used to spending time on your tummy in bed or otherwise. So that can take the stress off the ankle joint, but I'm going to do it without for now, so I'm just going to kick that one out of the way. Fabulous. So here on our tummies, simply rocking your tail from side to side. So a little bit like we do in our downward facing dog in our chair classes, we rock our tailbone from side to side. We're doing the same thing here, which helps to release tension from both the pelvis, the front of the pelvis, the hip flexors, and also the low back. And when it feels a little bit comfortable, when you feel you've rocked enough, you can bring your body back to stillness and simply take 3 deep breaths here. With your belly muscles as relaxed as possible. And as you breathe in, you'll find that that creates space in your low back. And as you breathe out, you can gently release, relax any holding, any tension. We'll do one more like that, breathing in. And breathing out. Brilliant. So from here, we're going to bring the thighs towards each other, not the feet, but the thighs. The feet can follow, but we're not worried about if the feet touch at all. And then take the arms wide away from the body, but with the elbows on the floor, on the mattress rather, on the floor. Forehead can come down. You can press your pubic bone down, press the top of your feet down, and then gently lift your head and chest up just a little and release down. Keep the top of the feet and the pubic bone pressing downwards, lifting just the head and chest a little and releasing. Pressing down with the feet and the pubic bone, keeping a little bit of action in the buttock muscles. You can maybe feel them engaged. Raising the head and the chest. You can press down into the elbows, of course, to do that. And coming down, not too high. Pressing up, keeping the pubic bone and the top of the feet engaged downwards. And releasing. Last one. Pressing up. And releasing. And then make a pillow out of your hands again. This time we're going to leave the toes where they are and let the heels fall out to the side and gently shimmer your tailbone from side to side. When you feel like you've done enough to release any effort, taking 3 deep breaths. Deep breath in, let the belly muscles relax, the lower back lift, and exhaling as you release. Doesn't matter if you exhale through your mouth here. One last deep breath in. Long breath out. Wonderful. So for this next practice, we're going to keep the head down and the arms down and lift the legs. So bringing your thighs towards each other again, don't have to be really close, just a bit more together, and the toes pointing backwards. Press down the left foot and lift the right foot away from you and up just a little, a few centimeters, a few inches, and releasing down. Press the right foot down, stretch the left foot away from you and up, and then release down. Just a little lift. Press the left foot down, stretch the right foot away from you, pointing the toes a little perhaps, and lifting up and release. Press the right foot down, stretch the left toes away from you and up and release. Now, if you like this, you can keep going from side to side. You press down to stabilize and then lift the opposite side and release. Pressing down to stabilize, lifting the opposite side and release. And if you'd like to do a little bit more, we'll do that after one more round to each side. So the next time you work with your left foot raised, we'll take a short break, leave the toes where they are, take the heels apart, just shimmy the hips from side to side. And if you want to take a longer break, that's okay. Take a few deep breaths here. If you're ready to do a little bit more, then bringing the thighs back towards each other, lengthening through the tops of the feet. You're going to press the left foot down, lengthen the right toes away, lifting up, and then simply bend the knee just a little to lift your heel higher than your knee. But don't drop your knee down. And then release the leg long and release the leg down. Press the right foot down, extend the left toes away, lift the left leg up a little, keep the knee where it is, bend the heel a little bit towards your buttocks, just a touch, and releasing straight and releasing down. They're very small, subtle movements. Press the left foot down, lift the right leg up, bend the heel towards the chest just a little, releasing the leg straight and releasing the leg down. Press the right foot down, lift the left leg away and up, bend the knee, just softening it enough to get the heel towards your buttock, just a touch, and releasing straight, releasing down. One more to each side. Press the left foot down, stretch the right leg away, and then lifting, soften the knee, just to bend the heel in, lengthen the leg, releasing down. Press the right foot down, lengthen the left leg away and up, soften the knee, bring the heel a little bit towards you, lengthen the leg, releasing down. And then here, toes towards each other, heels fall apart, rocking the hips from side to side. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. You can do that a few more times if you want to. You want to release. And here, actually, just lying on your tummy in this way, pressing the pubic bone down and pressing the feet down, both at the same time, is going to be therapeutic. It's going to be an action that we don't normally do. And so even that on its own would be enough to get you started. Okay, so from here, if you want to do this next practice, you can. And if you want to rest for a few breaths, you can as well. So on this next practice, we're going to bring the right knee out to the right side of the body and turn the right toes out as well. And take the hands either side of the chest and then pressing the chest away from the mattress to come up a little bit and down. So you're almost in the recovery position with the lower body, pressing the chest up a little and down. You don't have to do very much here. It doesn't have to be a big lift. You can also lengthen your left hip down into the ground, pressing the front of the pelvis down. And then we're swapping sides, sliding the right leg back to being straight, forehead maybe to the mattress for a moment. Take a wiggle if you need a wiggle, and then doing the same on the other side, taking the left knee out to the left foot out to the left, press the right pelvis down, and then lifting the upper body and lowering. And it might be that you just lift the head a little, that's enough. That's all good. And it might be that you decide that this is not for you, and that's all good too. And one more. And then resting again, forehead on the back of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, rocking the hips from side to side. Now, if you find that this position, lying on your tummy, is just pulling your back a little bit, that could be because the muscles in the low back get long and lazy. And so if it's uncomfortable, you can place a pillow underneath your pelvis to do this, which will give you a little bit of lift. Mine's a bit high up on my tummy here because it's a bit of a square pillow, but underneath the pelvis will give you a little bit of lift, and it makes it just a little bit more comfortable on the low back. It means you have to work harder to get your legs off the ground, but if that's more comfortable for you, then that is good. Okay, so there are lots of increasingly difficult variations or increasingly challenging variations of what we've been doing, but we're going to move now into hands and knees. And if you like this series, I will give you some more difficult things to do, so let me know. So to come onto hands and knees, we take the hands underneath the chest, we're bending the knees, tucking the toes under, and pressing up and back with our core muscles. So we come into the hands and knees position, and it doesn't matter if your arms are quite wide. Some people find that a little bit more supportive, and the knees can be very wide as well. And here we're going to begin with just circling the hips. I might take my jumper off. It's been a bit warm so far. 2 ticks. There we are. Super. So just circling the hips around the knees and the arms. So you need to use a little bit of arm strength here. Circling the hips in one direction and then circling them in the other direction. And your circles can be small if that suits you, or you may prefer to do a traditional cat-cow. So we do this on our chairs, so lifting the chest and rounding through the spine. Lifting the chest, lengthening the front of the body, and then lengthening the back of the body. So if you prefer to do that instead of the circling, you can, absolutely. If you like the circling, you can do the circle. Go in both directions. Very good. And then we're going to come from here to sitting on your bed so that you can do the next practice, which I'm going to demonstrate for the chair. So sitting on the edge of your bed, I have to adjust my screen ever so slightly. Ooh, there we are. And grab a chair to boot. Fabulous. So you will be sitting on the edge of your bed with your feet on the floor, and we're going to do a sort of squat practice. So make sure your feet are firmly planted right underneath your knees. Okay, so that's what you want. And you want to be towards the edge of the bed, but not really close to the edge, because we're going to go up and down to sitting and standing. Okay, so to begin with, arms down by the side, we're going to lean slightly forward, feel that you're really pressing down into the feet. We're going to reach our arms forward, stand up, and then reaching the bottom back to sit down. We want to do it really slowly, and the arms can come out to the sides, which I'm going to do so I fit on the screen. Breathing in as we reach forward and standing up, breathing out, lowering back down onto the bed. Lowering the arms as well. So pressing down with the feet, firm in the belly, firm in the buttocks, breathing in and slowly breathing out. Breathing in and slowly breathing out. We'll do one more like this, breathing in and slowly breathing out to lower. Then just take a rest. Notice how it feels in your body. And then we're going to do something slightly different with the arms. So we're going to start with the arms up, lifting the chest, pressing down. And as you breathe in to stand, you're going to reach the arms down to stand up and bring your hips forward so that you squeeze all the way through forward with your hip flexors and your buttocks. And then as you stand down, as you sit down rather, reach the arms away from you and up. So you get a little bit of counterbalancing. I'll do this sideways on so you can see a little bit better. So we're going to start with the arms up, pressing down into the feet, swing the arms forward as you stand tall, swing the hips forward a little bit, squeezing the buttocks, and then sitting down, reaching the arms forward to counter your bottom coming backwards. Pressing into the feet, standing tall, pressing the hips through, and then reaching back down and sitting onto the bed. Two more like this, standing tall, reaching the buttocks backwards, forwards and the arms backwards, and sitting back onto your bed, reaching the arms high. Last one, standing tall. We're actually going to have to do two, because if we sit down again, we are in fact going to stand up to finish the class. Very good. So here, now we're standing up. You can shake out your arms and your legs, do anything that you feel like you need doing, and perhaps a little downward dog at the back of the chair would be a good thing here. So if you're in your bedroom, you might do this with a wall, and reaching your hands onto a wall, pressing through your upper body and just gently shifting your hips from side to side, or lengthening through one leg and then the other. But not too much lengthening. When you're ready, bending the knees, walking towards either the wall or the back of the chair, whatever you're using for support. Wiggling anything that needs wiggling, and you're all set for your day. So if you need to do a little relaxation now, find somewhere that you feel comfortable, maybe even lying down in bed. It would be better to lie flat than to sit after this practice, just for a few minutes. And I will hope to see you again next time. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Namaste.